With the president's host, Texas Governor Conley, riding in the jump seat in front of him, the motorcade will make its fateful turn into Dealey Plaza, past a warehouse called the Texas School Book Depository. At a mere 11 miles per hour, the president's car is a slow-moving target. An ordinary day turns into one of history's nightmares.
It appears as though something has happened in the motorcade route. There has been a shooting. I repeat, a shooting in the motorcade in the downtown area. The president's car is now going past me, now traveling at a very high rate of speed. Secret Service men standing up in the limousine. They are armed with submachine guns. You see Mrs. Kennedy's pink suit. There's a secret...
And any time I sit in front of my students and I start talking about the assassination, they're absolutely dead quiet. They have 1,000 questions. They want to know everything about the Cuba and Vietnam War and all of the people involved, and I could speak all day and they'll listen, and they're not falling asleep. They're vitally interested in modern history and how this affects the world as we've grown up in it, because I wasn't alive at the time of the assassination. That change in America changed the whole world.
In the mid-70s, Grodin made available 35mm slide copies of each frame so that researchers could study them in detail. And I obtained a set of these slides and studied them intensively for hours at a time for several years.
It's almost like Sherlock Holmes and Moriarty. The scientists that put together the film did an excellent job. It's a magnificent piece of work. And 99% of the time, all the properties, all the optical properties and the motion and even the jiggling of the camera are beautifully done. But once you hit that piece of evidence that tells you this film violates the laws of physics, this film didn't come through the Zapruder camera, then it's almost like a game of people that lived 40 years ago. It's almost your wits against theirs. Can you find the next piece of the puzzle of where they made the mistakes?
And I really have a tremendous overview of this case, so I can bring some of those insights to bear peripherally. And I think I know exactly what happened in Dealey Plaza in terms of the general plan for this assassination and how it was carried out and the role that films played.
Essentially, apart from the bogus wound to the head, which was probably painted in, everything else was basically created from real footage. We're not talking about Walt Disney creation. It wasn't an animation, apart from a couple of things. They used real footage and put it together, real images, and put it together to create what we see today.
And I was thinking that maybe the simplest way to begin is with my overview of the assassination, because the films play a part in it, and a very significant part, but they're not the only thing.
Essentially, an ideal imaging system is what you get in 3D computer games. You go into a computer game and you can turn around and look up and down and move around.
Here is the way the plan worked to kill the President of the United States. And none of this is going to be hugely new. But they've got Lee Harvey Oswald, who, and I'll be writing about this much more, is a fake Marxist. And when I say a fake Marxist, I mean he's a fake Marxist. He's not a little bit of a communist. He's not 20% of a communist. He's a fake Marxist, just as much as an undercover drug agent is not really a drug dealer. He's a fake drug dealer. Anyway, they've got this guy in the building, and you'll read about how they did that in my book. And the whole scenario is they're going to plan to bring the president into Dealey Plaza, which is site selected, okay, for certain reasons, and they're going to kill him in Dealey Plaza. Now they have a plan to make it look like this fake Marxist did the shooting.
Here's a photograph that was used to convict him in The Minds of Most American. It appeared on the cover of Life magazine. It shows Lee Oswald holding this World War II carbine, Mannlicher Carcano, universally regarded as perhaps the worst small arms weapon ever manufactured. It was known as the humanitarian rifle in World War II for never actually harming anyone on purpose.
The backyard photographs were used by the Warren Commission to connect Oswald to the Mannlicher Carcano rifle found in the school book depository. But the fabricators of the backyard fake photos used a different rifle from the one found at the scene of the crime. This is easy to see because the backyard rifle had bottom-mounted sling rings, and CE-139 seen at the bottom, has side-mounted sling rings. So they're clearly not the same gun. So even if Oswald owned the gun in the backyard photographs, it is not the same gun said to have been used to shoot the president. Therefore, the backyard photographs are exculpatory evidence, not incriminating. If they faked photographs of Oswald and his gun and then substituted guns, would they fail to alter the Zapruder film?
You can actually change the image to look to the left. Right now we're looking right down the middle of this image. You can simulate looking to the left and looking to the right, looking up and looking down. Okay? You can't bring in any more image from here. We don't know what's over here, so this will move and nothing will come in. It'll just be black. But you can, I'll just show you how that works. You can look to the left, you can look to the right, back to the middle, you can look down, and you can look up.
And at the hospital, they're going to get the bullets out that they fired into the president and make it look like the fake Marxist $12 rifle did this shooting. Now, the reason I say he's a fake Marxist and he's not a 5% or a 10% or a 15% real communist is that this gun is a prop gun just as much as Oswald is a fake Marxist.
This is the man they picked up. They actually had the assassination took place at 12:30. By 12:45, they already had an all-points bulletin for a man described as around 30 years old, about 5'10" and 165 pounds, which must have described hundreds and hundreds of residents of Dallas at the time.
World War II was just over in the late 40s. The CIA came up with a program to send false defectors as spies to the Soviet Union. In Fort Worth, Texas, CIA agent David Atlee Phillips lived in the same West Side neighborhood as Marguerite Ekdahl, a widowed divorcee with 3 small children to support. Possibly through common Fort Worth acquaintances, he may have met Marguerite and appealed to her patriotism and need for some easy money to simply lend the identity of her youngest son, Lee, to this secret government defector program. Thus may have been born the myth of Lee Harvey Oswald. This was the secret the Warren Commission had to hide at all costs.
So I just wanted to show you the photographs that he took so you can understand the difficulty in putting together a panorama. Other people have done it. Scott Myers did a good one, and I think some other people maybe here have done one. The difficulty you have is that as he moves 10 degrees around each time, the angle, and you can see here that a small piece of Elm Street is basically straight, because it's such a small piece it looks straight. Jack's camera doesn't have very much distortion. But as you change your direction of view, all the perspective changes. The vanishing points change for those artists among you. And it's very hard to stitch all these together.
But they go to the hospital, and at the hospital is a plan to alter the president's body and make it look like the fake Marxist did the shooting. So in a sense, this is a doctor's plot. And this being a doctor's plot raises certain legal problems for anybody writing about it, including myself and my publisher. Now, they were not able to alter the body at Parkland Hospital. The body escaped from Parkland unaltered. It was seen at Parkland completely unaltered. And the reason that the doctors who were involved in this were not able to alter the body, and there's a lot of good guys at Parkland, but there are some bad eggs. The reason they were not able to go forward with the plan was that John Connally got shot by accident. That is very important to understand. The Connally shooting is an accident.